Okay, we're going to talk about school administrators. And to get in the tempo, we have to look at this very closely.
Before you and before Almighty God, that when we go into battle, I will be the first to set foot on the field, and I will be the last to step off, and I will leave no one behind.
Leave no one behind, really?
Dead or alive, we will all come home together.
Okay, how many of you out there actually believe that? I mean, what he just said, how many of you out there are naive enough to really believe that? I'm just wondering.
How stupid can you be?
I mean, seriously. And let's go into this one. This guy actually says some good things, even though I don't really know him.
First thing that you can do is don't become an administrator until you have been teaching, in my opinion, now this is my opinion.
He has to qualify
you need
that.
to have taught at least 10 years before you become an administrator.
The point I'm trying to make is you're going to hear a lot of things that are complete lies. We will leave no man behind. Guys, I hope you're not that naive to actually believe that. I mean, it sounds great for the movies. It's a good speech, but in real life, seriously? Ever heard of the unknown soldier?
And, you know, the obvious reason for that is to be a good administrator. And they make a big deal about how you are there to help the teacher.
Which is not true at all.
You are to support the teacher. You're there for the
Not
kids
true.
and you're there for the parents and all that. But, you know, boots on the ground, you need to help those teachers do
You're not there to support the teachers. You're there to support the state. Okay? That's the bottom line.
their jobs. And if you have never done their job, and I mean, I don't mean like do it for a couple of years, I mean do the job. If you have not done the job for 10 years and been successful at it, then I don't think you need to be an administrator.
Okay, but that doesn't happen anymore. You get administrators that never taught. Now, on the college teaching application, it says you have to have a college degree. And then when you become a teacher, you say, wait a minute, this guy didn't go to college. This administrator didn't go to college. The fact of the matter is, if you know the right people, you can get the job as a teacher or an administrator or whatever, even in colleges, without a college degree. I actually knew a guy, this was like a pseudo unaccredited bullshit junior college. Never went to college, but he was an administrator and a teacher there. So, but in these public school stuff like that, if you go to apply for a job, they're going to insist that you have a college degree. But if you know the right people, you don't have to worry about that. That's called a waiver, okay? And again, are you stupid enough to believe that these guys are going to get through without knowing the right people? I mean, it's really who you know.
Now, again, that's my opinion.
He has to qualify that.
Some people may not like that. You know, they may say, "Well, I was just a teacher for 5 years, and I'm a great." That's you know, I know there's probably people that are just born great administrators, but in general, when I was a teacher and I looked at administrators, if it was an administrator that I had worked with as a teacher.
Okay, he's saying that the administrators should be legit, basically. We don't get legit administrators. And I'm looking at this guy, too. I don't know if that he's even legit. But
Listen, Miss Richardson, as your principal, I got to tell you this. I feel like you could have done more to help that student pass this year.
yeah, you just pass
I
him.
feel like I did everything I could to help that student. I even gave him countless opportunities to make up his missing work.
Yeah, here's what you should say.
Now, I know you must be lying. How could I have helped that child more, short of taking his pencil and completing his assignments for him? Baby, I'm not Jesus. I cannot turn water into wine. I can lead a horse to water, but I can't make it drink. Everybody know that. Miss Richardson, why were you not standing outside of your classroom during class change? You know that you're supposed to stand out in the hallway during class change to help monitor the halls. Honestly, Principal Willis, I did not go out in the hallway because my last class was I wasn't in the hallway during class change. You want to know what I was doing? I was sitting in my classroom practically having a mental breakdown and contemplating my life choices because the class period that just left was so terrible that I started practicing my perk walk because I just knew that I was going to go off on them, get arrested, and have...
Oh, now one thing I'm going to say as a teacher, you're going to get a lot of bullshit requirements for admin, and they want lesson plans, they want this and that. Just give it to them. Don't worry about the quality. Now, if you try to go through all the steps and do it just right, forget about it. They're not going to look at the shit anyway. Okay? Just do copy and paste and give them something. There's a 90% chance they're not even going to look at it. Okay? So if they come down and say you got to do these things, do that, don't tear your hair out. Just come up with some BS and give it to them.
Have to go to jail. Miss Richardson, why did you write that student up? Maybe you should have tried to de-escalate the situation. Well, I guess I could have tried to de-escalate the situation, but those particular as well. Why do I have to justify myself to you as to why I wrote a student up? Am I not a professional? Do you not value my word?
Nope.
If I write a student up, it was for a particular reason. I don't just write kids up for my health. He stood up and acted like a whole fool and picked up a chair and threw it across the room and hit another student with it. Then he turned around and told me to shut the F up talking to him and then stormed out of my classroom like he pays bills. But please do continue to tell me how I could have de-escalated that situation without writing him up. Miss Richardson, I'd love to know why you haven't submitted the data that I asked you for. Everybody else has submitted their data except for you. It's possible. Data? Why haven't I submitted my data? Because y'all don't do nothing with it. Week after week, y'all pester me for data that y'all don't do nothing with. I think y'all just come and ask me for data to pester me and to make my blood pressure high. Because that's what y'all do every time y'all come and ask me and put some more work on me. My pressure goes sky high. Miss Richardson, I got a very angry phone call from a parent. Did you hang up on her yesterday? I sure did hang up on her. Because she was hollering all in my ear like she crazy. And I took matters into my own hands by hanging up on her because I knew that if I would have came and told y'all what happened, y'all wouldn't have done anything about it because y'all were scared of the parents. I hung up on her for my mental health. That's why I hung up on her. Miss Richardson, why have you failed to put any new grades in your grade book this week? You know you're supposed to have 2 new grades every week in your grade book. Every week. 2 new grades. I'm really in right now. I know you got bigger fish to fry other than coming down here to bother me and micromanage me to see whether I put grades in or not. And I'm not in any big hurry to put grades in because y'all aren't going to do anything but pass all of them anyway, even though they did 0 work.
Okay. Now let's say, for example, you are, let's see, I don't know how to explain it, but let's say you're, I don't know how to, well, this is going to be your boss, by the way. Let's say you go to college, you get a legitimate college degree. Let's say you're a math major or a chemistry major or physics. And you go into a career field. All right? You go into this career field and you serve for a long time. And let's say you go in the military. And let's say you get commissioned as an officer. And you, I don't know, what do? You retire. And now your wife, who is a born-again Christian, goes to this church, and everybody thinks you're an SOB because you're not working. And so you have to go out and get another job because these people think you're a lazy bum, and because you're not working, and that you're useless to society. It's like, hey, jackass, I mean, it's like I got a bigger income than you guys do, and I'm retired. Yeah, as a military officer. But now I got to go get a job as some damn teacher working in a public school, and this is going to be my boss because the principal hired her from guess where? Did she go to college? Probably not. Did she ever teach? Nah, didn't happen. But she's going to evaluate my teaching, and she's going to tell me that I'm no good, and she's going to tell me what an SOB I am and why I need to do better. And this is what you're going to be up against, okay? So for those of you who are going to become public school teachers, meet your boss. This is going to be it. That's going to be her. I don't know where she came from, but she's going to be your boss. She's going to tell you what to do. She's going to tell you that you're no good. I mean, she's going to tell you all sorts of things, you know? I mean,
implement a 180-day curriculum. And I got to get they are doing stuff as fast and as hard as they can do it. And they don't like being used by school boards or by parents or by the state government or by whoever.
What in the world is this nonsense? Let's get interrupted with this. Some more of this jackassery. Okay, but anyway, we're gonna
To try to plug some political agenda or fight against some political. They just want to teach their class.
everything's gonna be political and
They're
teaching.
the ones that have to. They're the ones that are on the ground. You know, they're the boots on the ground.
The teachers are gonna take it in the
The
end.
people.
And this is who
between
you're
school
working
boards
for.
And going between the state legislature and whatever. And they do stuff like this all the time. They're passing laws all the time that make it difficult to teach. And they do these things that sound like good ideas to them. You know, it sounds like a good idea to make sure that the teachers aren't teaching something that's what. But the vast majority of the teachers aren't teaching anything like that. And if they are, it's because they're being directed to by the curriculum that the state passed, or they don't decide on the curriculum. They don't decide what they teach. That stuff is all dictated to them for the most part. So you have certain things you got to go. You got to go about your curriculum. So if people want to fight these battles,
This is what you're gonna be working for, okay? If you're gonna be teaching in a public school, meet your supervisor. This is her.
really stinks that the teachers are the ones.
Is she gonna be
that are
good?
getting
No.
killed by having to do things like put their lesson plans out. They're doing twice the amount of work just in case two parents in the whole county want to go look and see what they're teaching. They got to do days and days and days worth of work for a couple of people that nobody may look at it at all. Like I would do my lesson plans, and half the time I wasn't worried about it because I knew my administrator wasn't going to look at my lesson plans. He didn't have time. If I was looking at somebody's lesson plans, they were having some real problems in class for me to have to go, you know what, I really need to look and see what they're teaching. When I was an administrator. So, lesson plans should be for the teachers to help them do their jobs. It shouldn't keep them from doing their jobs. It should.
Okay, lesson plans are not there for the teacher. You don't need lesson plans. Basically, everybody talks about lesson plans. That's just a buzzword. Hey, you want lesson plans? Yeah, sure. I'll give you some lesson plans. Here you go. Yeah, it's copy and paste. A lot of filler information. Lots of verbosity. I mean, there's going to be a lot of junk in there that's going to be useless. Nobody's going to use it anyway. And the thing is, you go with the flow. So like I said, if you're going to be working for this, you're going to go to college. Your principal has less education than you do. Your principal got a degree in what? Communications or education or some bullshit. Maybe a Bible school or something like that. And he thinks he's all great and everything like that. And he went straight into teaching right after school. Let me tell you, he's probably not worth a shit. Okay? And you've done a lot more than he'll ever do. Okay? And then they hire somebody like this to be your boss and to be your administrator and to evaluate your teaching. Yeah, and then you're going to take it seriously? Forget about it. And they tell you to do things? Yeah, go ahead and do it. And if you have to use the class time to do it, use the class time to do it. And if they tell you to do something really crazy, call the district attorney or something. Or talk to a judge or something. Get to know some of these people. Public schools are useless. And when let's say you know somebody at a private school, a really good private school, and you talk to the former public school teachers, not a one of them think that the public school's any good. I mean, not a one of them.
Shouldn't put them under a microscope. It shouldn't make a situation where if I put the wrong thing in my lesson plan, somebody
You'll get fired.
on me. The school superintendent's going to see my name on some email because I put the wrong thing in one of my lesson plans, or I put The other thing
they'll
is
fire
lesson
you.
Plans contain a lot of information that's private about students and about kids, and people can't see that. So how are you going to provide that information and black all that stuff out so the parent can't see who's in what groups and who? They're very detailed, and
a lot of times parents don't understand that they're asking to see something that they really don't have the rights to see. Now
The thing is, I mean, they're going to pile on the work. Nobody cares about education. If you cared about education, you'd hire good teachers, and you wouldn't put them under something like this. Okay? Their teachers are abused. They're mishandled. Okay? They're mismanaged. Oh, and I'll tell you one thing bad about teachers. They hate substitute teachers. If you're a substitute teacher, you are a piece of dirt, and the teachers take every advantage of that substitute teacher, and they blame everything on the substitute teacher. If you're a substitute teacher, you are a punching bag. Who is naive to believe that public schools are about education? Yeah. Who is naive to believe that the military cares about the soldiers? I mean, who is naive enough to believe that this lady here is going to be a good administrator for the teachers?